Oh, right.
What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? We are back.
Welcome. Yep. Welcome to Walking Against the Current. We are so happy to be in your living room, on your phone, on your devices tonight. We are so happy that you came to join us tonight for another episode of Walking Against the Current.
That's right.
So I guess I'll do the introduction tonight. We're going to just piggyback on some of the things that we discussed since we started. I mean, how many months have we been on?
I don't want to lie. It's been a while.
Okay. So the bottom line is that we are here with you guys and you guys are here with us and we thank you for that. And tonight we're going to dive into a couple of things tonight. So get your cup of coffee, get your candy, and join in for the episode. So what is and who are we at Walking Against the Current? We are two people that believe that truth, healing, and growth often require choosing a different path than what society and culture and even family expectations demand. We definitely going to say tonight we are not experts talking at people. We are real people walking with the people.
Yep.
So I'll ask my question that I always ask. How was your day?
It was a good day. We want to reiterate that this is our last episode of the year of 2025. Right. It's been a great, great year, and we are grateful. This is the last episode of the year. I should do a little sound effect, but I'm not going to do it.
Don't make it sound so final.
No, I said of the year.
Okay, all right.
You know, we got a new year coming up.
Whew.
But today was a good day. I'm not going to share what transpired today, but it was a scary day for me at work. But we are grateful for prayers. We are grateful for God's grace, His mercy, His protection that keep us covered each and every day.
Oh, that's absolutely true. And that's such a good thing because each day is a new challenge or a new blessing or both.
Right.
Or both. So work is work and life be lifing.
That's right. That's right.
So go ahead, you jump in because I have so much I want to share tonight.
Yeah, so if you guys are on tonight, please like, share, comment, hit at highlights, hit at followers. So like we said, we're going to talk about, what made us start walking against the current. Okay, people on TikTok joining in. What's up, y'all? What got us on fire for this topic, right? So I want to talk about what made us start walking against the current, right? Talking about our origin, as we would talk about keeping it real. We love to talk about being transparent. In today's society, in today's world, there's so many people that walk with the current. And, walking against the current means that you are someone who's an individual. You're someone who's unique. You're someone who don't mind blazing your own trail. And as I shared in many episodes, my mother, my parents, my family have always been the type to trailblaze their own path. And we wanted to also trailblaze the path with the Mother and Son podcast because I don't think there is one out like this.
No, I don't think so neither. So we're going to say we are the first in the, as JJ would say, original.
The original.
And like my son said, walking against the current is about choosing integrity over popularity.
Right.
Because so many, like he said, so many people are always doing the same thing. And we definitely, I think I told the story of what made me get that name was, I think my children were very small. And I think we was on, what is that little thing on the little tube that you get on? I don't know. Oh, I can't. The lazy river. And Sammy fell off the tube and I think it's like 2 feet of water, but I had to jump out of my tube, which was challenging. So at that time, I thought he was going to drown.
Lazy boy, right?
Yeah, lazy river.
Lazy river. Okay.
Lazy river. And, my son is always doing something silly at that time. He fell out of the tube.
Not me. My other son, my brother.
Of course, he has to make that clear.
Gotta make it clear.
Well, he fell out. He's a baby. And so I had to jump out of my tube to catch him. And I mean, really, I don't know if he would have drowned in 2 feet. Maybe he could have. But either way, I literally had to walk against the current to get him. And I remember it was so hard to walk against the current in maybe 2 feet of water. And I never forgot that. And it stayed in my mind to always say, to be different, to do something different, you have to walk against the current to really be not like the status quo, to be that different person, to, like my son said, to be the trailblazer. I like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Choosing peace. I mean, one of my things I have in my notes is that, sometimes we have to choose peace over performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think so many times people are performing in life. And one of the things well, my kids know, I tell them, who are you doing this for? Are you doing it because the cause is something that's good? Or are you doing it because you want to be seen of men? So when
Right.
you're making a choice in life, when you're trying to be a game changer, make sure your intentions are pure. Make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and that you're not just doing it to be seen of men. So again, choosing peace and integrity over popularity is something that's really big to me.
Oh yeah. And that's with anything in life. You know what I'm saying? When you're walking against the current. And it's so many different things, right? You could think about people in your family. If you're the first time entrepreneur in your family, people might say, hey, go to school, get a good job, get a good education, you know what I'm saying? So you can have a good job, excuse me. And you might be the person to say, you know what? I don't want to take that route. I want to, walk against the current and blaze my own trail and be the first entrepreneur. I want to be the first doctor. I want to be the first person to graduate college. I want to be the first person to not be a teenage mom or a teenage dad. There's so many things that you could walk against the current with, and it's not just about this particular podcast, right? But walking against the current, it highlights so many areas in your life when it pertains to an individual that's choosing a path that no one else has truly thought of or even set,
Right.
or just choosing a path that many people are not taking.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. I love that. And that's something that, my children, I swear, all four of them have their own mindset. I mean, I will say that I've raised some strong babies because they are strong and willed children, and they really are trailblazers in their own right. And no matter what I may have, I mean, I have definitely planted a seed with my kids, but trust me, they have grown their own branches and have decided to become the humans that they are today, which are really good humans. And I really am very, very thankful, because this joker sitting right next to me, my oldest, he has always walked against the current. He is a trailblazer. I mean, he'll throw the ideas that he sets for his life. He'll throw them at me because I think he does trust my judgment and my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But no matter what I say, I might be like, "What? No, I ain't doing that." He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." So I admire that about him. I always tell him, I said, I have such great thoughts and such great visions. I'm telling on myself tonight. I have such great thoughts, such great visions, and oftentimes I don't put them in place. So when he comes up with something, I mean, every opportunity that you get, I was just having a calming conversation with him, and he was like, hold up, pass that number to me. I was like, man, I love how your brain thinks, because his brain is always thinking of ways to grow. And that's great. And that's fantastic. Whereas my brain is extremely creative, and I can think of great thoughts, and I'll be like, let me pass them over to you because he's going to make it happen.
Yeah. Like the acronym NOW stands for no opportunity wasted.
All right. There you go.
And it's important that, it's okay that everybody's not the same. It's okay that my brain works this way, your brain works that way.
Right.
Because that's the whole purpose of unity in team. You don't want to have all A-type people on the same team.
Can't do it,
or
because I'm
B-type
definitely
people,
not.
So you want to have people who's different, who have different thought patterns, who think different, who have different ideas on how to grow something. Because what's my strength could be your blind spot. I hate the word weakness. So what's your blind spot could be my strength. So when you put those two together, you could, have some harmony.
Yes, and that's so true. I like to think about my daughter. My daughter, I think, is definitely a type A personality, my oldest daughter. And she's not a game player. And when she sets her mind to something, she just gets it done. She doesn't waste time with it. When she wants to do something, like she's on vacation right now, she's like, oh, yeah, I got my next vacation booked already for next year. I'm like, God, dog, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to.
You got country now, dog.
I wanted to say something else. I was being nice. Let me be nice, Okay, I do want to say that. Disclaimer. There are times when I still struggle in those areas of cussing. So what I was going to say was, you know what, I won't beat myself out. But you guys know, yeah, I know. But I was literally saying, like, she's already got her.
Got D.
Yeah, right. She got her plans already booked for next year. And I'm still just in the talks about my vacation for next year, but she's already on vacation currently and booked already for next year.
Right. That's crazy.
So that person, but like you said, there's different personalities. I am definitely more that laid back person, but I'm the person that people come to for advice and they want to lay their head on my shoulder, and that's me.
Right. So yeah, so that was great. So you want to also talk about why this show is necessary.
Yes.
And I took some points down. I had to really ponder on what makes this show necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many podcasts out today. There's so many people that have a show on multiple platforms that's talking about multiple things, and they're all good, right? I would never degrade or talk bad or be facetious about nobody else's program or show. But I think what makes us different is that, we are people who are tired of pretending that everything is fine.
Yes.
I'm tired of seeing people on social media in life pretending like everything is fine. And deep down you're hurting. Deep down, you may want to do some things that's unthinkable, So we wanted to bring the show here so we could, be raw and authentic about things that we experience, that things that we go through, and how we could be better live in the flesh. We are no way near perfect. I mean, we make mistakes every single day. I come on here all the time and talk about how I want to be a better father, or better, all these things. I've lost money. I've did all kind of things that was stupid, degrading, just terrible mistakes that I've made, and my mom as well. And that's what makes us human.
Me?
We talk about how the people in the Bible, how God used people who did some heinous things.
Yeah.
And he made them mighty men, mighty women of God. But I think the whole purpose of that is because if you got somebody who's perfect always, it's hard to show other people, how can I become that? The pedestal is too high. But if you got somebody who used to be an addict, who used to be, promiscuous or whatever the situation may be, who used to be a thief or a murderer, and now you see that person on fire for God, it's like, wow. Like,
if they can do it, I can do it.
It's
a reachable goal.
A guy reached out to me recently who I know used to be, he was something else.
He had some challenges.
He was something else. I ain't gonna say what the challenges were, but he was something else.
No, please don't.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, he reached out to me and he is completely on fire for God.
Oh man.
And speaking with him, I was like, wow. I said, man, I'm so proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Because to know who you once were and who you are today, still proves to me that God still works.
Oh, he does.
And he could change anybody.
Right. And I think that's the reason why we started this podcast. Like my son said, is that one thing is to know that there's no perfect person. You know what I mean? There are too many people that are, like you said, are doing podcasts, and sometimes everybody's trying to measure up. We want it to be authentic. We want it to be transparent. We want it to be trailblazers as mother and son. We definitely want it to be to educate. We wanted to, everything that we've learned and still are learning, we wanted to share with you, especially when it comes to holistic health, peace, and all of that, the importance of laughter, the importance of love, the importance of forgiveness, all of the things that I think people don't often enough talk about. We wanted to really, bring that back to your remembrance when you get ready to make a decision, why are you making that decision? Stop and think about it. So we just wanted to be something that was different, that you can at least say, wait a minute, I learned this. I remember what they said before you make certain choices in life. To constantly be a person that's going to be walking in love, walking in forgiveness, and definitely walking against the current. So walking against the current is not just something for me and my son, it's for the world.
Yeah, it's we want to talk about the danger of silent struggles.
Right.
How conversations can save someone who feels unseen.
Yeah.
Because some of these topics we talk about, it hit home with me, it hit home with you.
Yeah.
Even with we have a men's group. So a lot of times the topics that I facilitate in a men's group, a lot of those topics not shared with the brothers. A lot of those topics are areas that I'm dealing with, that I'm struggling with, and I choose those topics because I feel like it's universal and I feel like most men are dealing with it. And to have the conversation with the brothers in the room, I get answers and clarity that I'm looking for. So a lot of times we choose topics on here for you guys. These are real things that we are dealing with, that we talk about on a daily off camera. And we're like, hey, let's get some feedback from people in society. Let's get some feedback from people out there Or the flip side, people who may see me or see my mother and think we got all this stuff going on, think we don't have no issues. We want to come on here and be like, listen, you know,
We got issues.
We want to have some real conversations and create some real healing. You know,
Right.
it's been plenty of times I've gotten this podcast and shoot, you know, I wanted to cry
Yeah.
live on the show. You know, I had to fight back some tears.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
You know what I'm saying? Because as we always say, life be life and real stuff be going on. And we want people to understand that we are human just like everybody else. And that's the one thing I pray, that as this thing grows and as we continue to pour into people and help people, that God allow us to remain the same, humble, you know, remain authentic and remain relatable and reachable.
Oh, that I think you was going to say just what I was going to say, to stay relatable. I think sometimes, you know, people, when they see people on different podcasts, they feel like, oh, they got it all together. But no, we want it to be, like my son said, transparent. Like, there are times I come on here, sometimes before we get on, we're bickering sometimes.
Yeah, we having quarrels before we get on here.
Because, you know, our personalities are polar opposite. Although we think alike, we have a lot of things that we think alike, a lot alike with. There are some times when he's definitely more, right?
Matter of fact.
And I'm more like, relax, you know, lay back. And he's like, no. So sometimes we'll have those little tidbits before we even go live. It's like, but no one can know. But look at what we're saying right now, right? We don't just get up here and be like, hey, nice. You know, there's sometimes we be like, you know, at each other. But it's all in love. And it's all for, and it's all for correction, you know. And I'm a great listener, so sometimes when we're bickering, a lot of times I'll just get quiet and I'll just ask a question. And one thing about Lawrence that I really do like, we're telling on ourselves tonight. One thing about Lawrence that is and he's a great son for this, he does not ever get really disrespectful. I know there are times I'm frustrating him, and he's just like, just move, Mom. And I'm just like, I can kind of feel what he's wanting to say to me, but he knows better. He better remember those old days, you know. But the bottom line is, we are not perfect. We are a work in progress, like everybody out here in this whole world. But at the end of the day, we want to be a game changer. We want to speak into your lives. We want you to know that no matter how bad things look, there's always tomorrow. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And that is really what Walking Against the Current is all about.
That's true. Yeah, we definitely had some quarrels before we started the show. We was in here not arguing, but going back and forth. And then, you know, my daughter, she works, you know, Leah, she works behind the scenes for us.
Yes, she
does. So we'd be like, all right, let's start. Ready? Leah, hit the button. Let's start.
And then we'll get started. And let me tell you something. Maybe one day she'll get brave enough to come on the camera. This little girl is really like my namesake. She's actually named after me. Her middle name is Elizabeth. And she goes by, what is her signature? It's Queen Elizabeth. I just love it. I'll call her that all the time. She's like, when you got to call her number, it's Queen Elizabeth. But one thing about her, she has personality just like us. So when we're bickering, she's looking at her dad, she's looking at me, and then she's like rolling her eyebrows up and down. So she just has a great personality just like us. But at the end of the day, it's all in love. It's all in truth. But it's all because we want perfection enough that we want to give a good show, and we want to put our hearts and soul into this thing.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you know, one of the funny stories I share about us before we get started, sometimes we go back and forth about time. Like, we want to always make sure we start on time. And sometimes we're trying to get home in traffic. We start sometimes 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. And we're really trying, or we're going to do better with starting directly at 7, right? And like, I know, like, it be times I come over here and my mom is still upstairs trying to get ready. I'm like, would you come on? Come downstairs.
You know, I'm in the bathroom and I'm trying to get ready. He's texting me like, where are you? You know what I mean?
And God forbid, let me be late.
Oh,
my God.
He better not be late after he gets me down the country, as they say.
Yeah, let me be late. She's texting me. See, I told you, talking about me. Now you late. And I'm like, oh.
So these are all of the what are the little things? You know how you watch a sitcom and they show you those little things at the blurbs?
What, the bloopers?
The bloopers. These are our bloopers. It's so funny. Maybe my granddaughter might record it one day and we'll share it live. But we have some funny bloopers because it's all about really both of us are very passionate about this. We want this to get out there. And we definitely wanted to be as professional as it can be. So he's definitely iron sharpened iron. He's definitely sharper than me, but sometimes he is so frustrated with me. Tonight was so funny because I was changing my shirt. So he's banging on the door to come in. I don't know what he did with his key, but he's banging on the door and I heard him. I'm like, oh snap. So I fly down the steps and he's like, what? You're not ready?
I'm like, it's 6:50. She would have got a robe on. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're trying to get in the house and she's blocking the door. Well, go set everything up. I'm like, get out the way.
So we definitely, we are working on getting ourselves really on it. But, we both work at different places in here in Columbia.
Right.
And I work really far from the house. So I'm really trying. We don't want to come on at 8. We want to come on at a decent time. So I'm flying through traffic at times. And like I said, we are so authentic. When we get on, we're not really practicing. This is like really live.
It's really live.
This is really live.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any funny questions for us or anything, please share tonight. We open with.
We got a few comments.
Oh, okay.
Mommy says, sorry, sis, that is you. LOL. So we got some people. Michelle, what's up, Michelle?
Thank y'all for joining.
Dion said, betting on yourself can definitely be walking against the current. Love the knowledge being given on this podcast. Thank you. Appreciate that, brother.
Yes, so much so.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, everybody knows me. Everyone who knows me know I'm always late. Everyone. I mean, I'm working on that. So I'm going to stop confessing it because I think I got to stop confessing it. I am on time.
You're on time.
I'm on time. Okay.
Listen, what we speak translate to the future now.
Exactly does.
I challenge y'all to Google the definition of future, not the rapper, but the word future. And it'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about what we didn't expect when we started.
Okay. All right.
Like what didn't we expect? You know what I'm saying? Man, I would say conversations that went deeper than plain. Like I talked about, I almost cried on the podcast, right? I didn't expect to do that. I didn't expect to share some deep things about myself or about being a father or a husband or being a friend or being a son. I've shared things we did a lot of episodes.
We did.
I've shared things over the past couple of weeks and months about, how I want to be better. How me and my daughter here had a powwow in the garage because we turned our garage into a gym. And during COVID time, I need to turn it back into a garage to put my cars in there. But, we got all this gym equipment in the garage, and we all work out in there. And one particular day, I don't know, it was just me and her. And I was just talking to her about, because she's 13 years old now, and I was talking to her about how, I wanted to protect her body. She's about to go to high school next year. Just all the things that's happening in society that I really want my oldest daughter to understand, that the sacrifices that I make for her as a father, that her mother makes for her, that her family makes for her, and all of them, that it doesn't go in vain.
Right.
Don't be a teenage mother. Protect your body. Don't let no little boy, do anything to you, touch you, talk to you crazy or try to sweet talk you, So I talk to my children, my mom talked to me. We don't use the what's it called?
Politically correct word.
The scientific word. We don't use the medical term. We use the term that you're gonna hear in school. We say the real deal. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's hard on the ears because I remember when I would speak to you about it, you're like, Mom, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Hey, you know what I mean? I can't say it up here. It's like bleep, bleep,
right,
bleep.
You want to hear that? And for whatever reason, I got real emotional talking to her, and I ended up crying, and she ended up crying, and I think that's the first time. That's the first time you saw me cry. No.
no, come on now. I can't believe he said that.
Well, I'm talking about like one-on-one.
Okay.
Not like at a funeral or at a movie. I'm talking about.
But you cry a lot.
I do cry a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
But that's the first time I think she saw me like cry, like giving her explanation.
Right.
Like in our conversation.
Right. A real passionate conversation between dad and daughter.
Yeah.
And those are some of the toughest conversations to have. But how did that work out?
With your kids. It worked out good. Because Leah tried to act so tough sometimes too.
Right. She does have a hard exterior at times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She started crying and stuff and, hugging on me.
Oh my goodness. And those are life moments, you know what I mean? Those are life moments as parents. And you believe it or not, you're probably peeled through a layer because there's just so many layers in parenting. And sometimes, you just like, oh, I got to the next level. You know when you get to the next level with your children. So it's tough, you know what I mean? Boy, when my kids was growing up, it wasn't as tough as it is today. But, Lawrence was really popular in school. So I knew that the girls was coming for him. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, look at this. Part of the reason why he was popular is because he had that New York label too. You know what I mean? When you come from New York, it's like all of a sudden you're a superstar.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that New York come out of you. You know what I mean? So either way, he was popular, and he loved being popular. And so I had to really warn him about females and some of the tactics that they use, and I wasn't nice about it. I gave him straight up and down. And I just told him, I said, don't ruin your life. You know what I mean? Don't there's all type of diseases out here. Topics that you got to have with your kids, guys, man. These girls are walking away in 2025 with sexually transmitted diseases, and sometimes they didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
So we have to have these real conversations with our kids, and we can't be always politically correct because, they're not hearing that in school.
Yeah. And while I was in high school, it was a young lady who had an STD, and she was mad that a boy gave it to her, and she was walking around trying to sleep with every guy she could to pass it on.
Oh, man.
And this was, you talking about, oh, my God, I graduated high school in 2010. It's 2025. You're talking about 15 years ago.
Yeah, just say no, guys. Just say no.
You know what I'm saying? And I know guys, girls, it's hard to say no out there, But I'm just... So having those real talks with your kids is important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you hear that they echo in your brain. I know I was echoing his brain. And no matter how much no matter how much we talk as parents to our kids, at some point they're going to make their own decisions and their own choices. But I think when you actually plant those seeds in their mind, it gives them something to think about. And I would make my kids watch documentaries. I'm like, hey, watch a documentary on, what people deal with in real life with HIV and AIDS. Watch a documentary on poverty. Not just the bad things, but the good things too. But they have to let them know, because some people don't realize you can have a real illness and look perfectly healthy.
Right.
There's just so many things that children are not taught. Sexual education is really important.
Yeah.
And people are like, I don't want to talk about it. No, you need to talk about it because they're talking about it at school.
Yeah.
I remember when Sam was in school, my girls didn't really have those issues. I raised good girls.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have a lot of issues with them being, well, I don't know, Mimi. Mimi was a little frisky. You know what I mean? I know Mimi might be listening tonight, but Mimi was something else. But Cece was pretty good. But I remember Sammy, he was in elementary school, and I remember I got a call from the principal saying that Sammy did something that was inappropriate. And Sammy, and if anybody who knows Sammy knows, it's like this. The principal called me up. I'm like, what, Sammy? And he really did do it. He admitted to me he did it. And one of the reasons why he did it is because somebody dared him, one, and because he saw something on somebody's phone. So he was really trying to be cool. So you have to have those conversations about that. And then another conversation you got to have with your kids is about law. You know how I feel about that. Understanding law.
Oh, yeah. That's important.
Because so many people are, these teenagers are out here making decisions and choices and don't realize that it can cost them their life in jail.
Oh, my God. That is the new thing in 2025 and 4. These kids making these decisions don't understand that, you always said what you do now
determine
what you get to do later. You know what I'm saying? And I heard a guy when I was working at the prison. I'll never forget, a guy was in prison, and I was 20 years old or 21, and he was like, Mom always told me it is so hard. It is so easy to get in here, but it's so hard to get out.
So hard to get out. So hard.
You one decision, 1 second, 10 seconds can cost you 10 years. It is so easy to get in here, but it's so hard to get out. And that statement seared my mind.
Ooh, doesn't it? All it takes is one statement, and it can
like,
really
man.
be there. You know what I mean? It can really be there.
And I'm looking around. I'm like, Jesus, thank God for your mercy and grace.
Yeah.
Because, we all have done things that could have put us in jail, prison.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only because mama's prayers, grandma's prayers that, got us.
Somebody prayed for me.
Somebody prayed for me.
Had me on their mind. Took the time to pray for me. I mean, and that's so true. And one of the things that steered my mind, so when you said that, it makes me think of that. I had just had Lawrence. I was in school for, I think, nursing assistant at the time. And I'm called into an internship. And I was working with a man at the time that was 28. 28, I think I told you the story. And he had been sent home because he basically was in hospice at this point. And he lived on a beach. And he looked out the window and he couldn't even lift a spoon up to eat. He couldn't even lift a spoon. I mean, he didn't have any strength. To make a long story short, I remember he said, I should be on the beach playing. I should be on the beach diving, bouncing my ball, but I can't do any of it because of the choice I made. And he looked up at me and said, make sure you always protect yourself. And I mean, he just gave me a long story, but he was 28, and I'm telling you, he looked like he was about 50 or 60. He looked so old. He was so sick, but he gotten sick. He told me I got sick by being irresponsible, and for some reason that seared my mind at that age. I had to be about 22 at the time. He was not much older than I was, and he was dying.
Jesus.
And I tell you what, I mean, at that time, if a man looked at me, it was like, get away. Get away from me. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
And so it takes those experiences that can sear your mind.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Another thing I didn't expect doing this show this year was the growth that came from consistency.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, you taught me.
Yeah, you know, this has really been a challenge to come here every Monday, you know, after work, after a long day, regardless of how our day was,
Right.
and to come on here and prepare and come on here and talk
Exactly.
for 30 minutes, 35 minutes, sometimes an hour, and to be consistent with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A couple times we was late, you know, but to be consistent on Monday and to come on here and talk and to perform, right? Because no matter what you do, you have to perform. On your job, you have to perform. You have to give it your best effort.
That's right.
You know, so coming on here and no matter how I feel, if I'm upset, like I said, we might have had a quarrel. You know, like one time we went like a day without talking.
A powwow.
And we came here and like we came here for the show. And we didn't talk until we got on here. We talked like maybe 5 minutes before the show. And he was like, you know, you got to stop this. You know? Because like my mom said, I'm the type, you know, I'm not disrespectful to my parents, mother or father. So like, I just bridle my tongue. I just won't say anything.
Right.
Like, you know, she'll yell at me, whatever the case may be. And I just like, okay, yeah, okay. But I won't say anything back.
You don't say you don't say nothing.
Well, I don't say nothing disrespectful.
Comment. No, you don't. No,
I'm talking about disrespectful.
Right.
I'm saying disrespectful. So most times, I mean, I would say something back, but it's not disrespectful.
You see that?
But I'm going to be quiet. And I know my mom, like, you know, if I'm quiet, she's like, oh, now you can't talk now. Now you quiet.
Yeah.
So, you know, but that's the thing. Being consistent during this ride has been great for me because it's taught me the importance of consistency. You know, I never forget Will Smith said something one time that he will always outwork people because they can't last that long with consistency.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that's most people. They start something and stop. And that's been me for years.
Me too.
I'll start something, I stop. I have a good run, I get a challenge, I stop. I get tired, I stop. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of that.
Right.
Let's be consistent. No matter, you know, they say rain, sleet, or corona. Let's get out. Let's get on here.
Get out here.
And let's be consistent and do this.
Right.
And it build up my muscles when it comes to that area of my life. So I'm grateful for that.
I am too, and I hope you guys are too. So what are our goals? Some of our goals. I wrote down some of the goals for Walking Against the Current as we end 2025, and we're looking forward to jump into 2026. What are some of our goals? That is to create a safe space for real conversations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why we encourage comments. You know, we look back at them later. I know I do. And I want to answer them. He's really good about that too. We want to challenge mindsets without shaming people. You know what? Let's just be transparent. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? We also want to help people choose peace, healing, and purpose. We want to be able to give people that, you know, and help them get to that place of peace, healing, and purpose. To encourage listeners to trust their inner voice, like I spoke about earlier. When you hear certain things, now it's going to be in your mind. So trust your inner voice, and to remind people that growth often feels lonely before it feels freeing. So those are some of our goals. We wanted to create a space and place for you to have these real conversations.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy? You know, there is a cost to everything in life, right? But there is a cost to walking against the current.
Ooh, let me know.
I mean, think about it. You know, walking against the current means that you're going to lose alignment with people who can't grow with you. Because think about that, right? You might have people who's on a different path, a different trailblaze that you're not aligned with. You may have people, I mean, think about people in law enforcement. You might have friends who's drug dealers or who's do drugs and you can't be around them.
Right.
You might have people who drink a lot and drink and drive. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things you can't do or be around when you have certain jobs, whether it's government, military, law enforcement, teachers, you know what I'm saying, educators. So, when you're walking against the current, and no matter what area of your life, there's going to be people that's not going to align with you no more, that you have to begin to walk away from.
Right.
People going to look at you like you're different. You're going to feel misunderstood. Why is this happening to me? Why does always, why can't I do that?
Right.
If he could do this and get away with it, if I do it, I get caught.
Right. Ugh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Having to check your own ego.
Mm.
Having to check your own ego, walking against the current, and staying consistent when it's inconvenient.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a cost to that.
It is a cost.
Because it is very inconvenient sometimes to come on here and do this. It's inconvenient sometimes to make the right decisions. It's inconvenient sometimes to want to do certain things that you're not supposed to do or that you can't do because it's not right.
Right.
So it's inconvenient and it's a cost.
Oh, I like that. There is a cost. So a couple of audience questions tonight, if you guys want to jump in with us. And I have a couple of them, but I'll start off with this one because this is something that I deal with often. Have you ever been called difficult for setting boundaries? Like, if you're, like you said, when you're doing something different opposed to the status quo, and I'll just use this, maybe going to church on Sundays, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some people are like, you still go to church? I just watch online, you know what I mean? Why get up in the morning and go to church when you can just watch online, save your gas money, you don't have to hear the pastor talk about tithes. You can just give what you want. There's no pressure. And then you decide that, no, I want to be amongst those, and, I want a fellowship. Right. So that's kind of walking against the current nowadays. Back in the days, church was normal to go to, but nowadays people are just going online.
Right.
A difficult boundary would be like you talked about with your daughter, saying no to premarital sex.
Right.
How many people can really do that? Say, you know what, I'm dating you, I like you, and I believe in, following the book, and I'm not going to have premarital sex with you until you put a ring on it or let's be married.
Right.
So that's also, a different setting boundaries. So the question is, have you ever been called difficult for setting boundaries?
If you're asking me, yes, absolutely. You have to set boundaries with friends. You have to set boundaries with people that you're in relationships with. Family members for sure. You have to learn to exercise your no. I think a lot of times, I'm always saying yes to everything, because I want to help people. And, even the situation I'm in now, I got some decisions to make. And, one of my decisions, the reason for the decision is because I'm thinking about other people. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, go for it. And I'm going to encourage you to do your dream, do your passion. Because I'm telling you, you're 25 today and you're 55 tomorrow. Life goes by so fast.
I'm going to be 34 years old this year. Jesus. 34. I can't believe that.
I know. I don't even want to think about it. Okay, let me make one more question. What's something you stopped doing to protect your peace?
What is something I stopped doing to protect? I stopped caring what people think about me.
Ooh, and that's a snap, crackle, and pop. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Our time then ran out.
Oh, okay.
So I try to set timers for these on here so we're not on here too long for you guys. We know you guys are busy, but one of the things I stopped doing is I stopped caring what people say about me or think about me, to a certain degree, right? Because people don't always talk about you. When you walk against the current, when you're different, I've always been this way. I've always liked fashion. I've always liked, just different things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a New Yorker, so we just different. Right. And people down here is not used to that. So like even at work, people talk about my jackets. Oh, you come here with all these nice jackets. We get these jackets from, and I just like style and fashion. I mean, I don't knock nobody. If you want to come here wearing the same thing over and over in the uniform, wear a uniform. If you want to come here wearing whatever you want to wear, I just want to wear my jackets.
Right.
I like the wintertime. I like the cold. I like fashion and dressing. But I understand that people's going to talk about you no matter where you at.
Right.
In high school, I've always dressed nice. I've always, that's always been me. That's nothing new.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I understand that when you quote unquote stand out, or like I went to that my banquet recent. What was that?
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
And I wore this. Y'all seen it on Facebook. on Instagram. I wore this very loud blazer that had rubies, fake rubies. What
Walk
it
against
was
the
it was
current.
made with rubies, right?
Okay.
It gave you like a
Coming to America.
Coming to America, like a
Afrocentric.
Afrocentric type vibe, you know. It had like the leaves. It was really, really unique.
Right.
And I got a lot of comments on it saying it was really, really nice. Of course, people was cracking some jokes,
Right.
you know, that don't understand culture, that don't understand, you know, fashion. But many people did and really gave me a lot of compliments. But again, that's just something I love to do. I love to be different. I love to walk against the current. Every time I wear a suit, I've wore red suits, I've wore pink suits, I've wore different colors. I like to
You like
be
being
different.
loud.
Yeah, I like to be loud. I like to be different. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think
that red and purples and stuff is Panamanian blood coming out.
I like to be different, man. I don't want to. I hate when we was in New York. I don't want to say hate. I dislike when we was in New York and a pair of Jordans come out and everybody got the Jordans on.
Right.
You know, I like to always wear different kind of sneakers. I want to get the retro stuff that people don't got. You know, I just always want to be different.
Right. And that's great. It's great that you have the confidence to walk against the current, because sometimes it takes one person saying something to you in a negative way, and all of a sudden people become crushed, and then their egos are crushed, and then all of a sudden they're removing their clothes. No, when I wear something and somebody says they don't like it, it's like, oh, whatever, you know, because
Right.
at the end of the day, if I like it, that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Now, there's one time I did allow people's comments to affect what I did.
Oh, really?
This is back in New York, and this is before locks was like a thing, right? I think I was in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and you had twisted my hair. Remember that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I had twists. Oh my God, my hair would have been so long by now.
Yes.
And at that time, I was so infatuated with like the Marleys and, you know, Bob Marley and different, you know. Nevertheless, I had grew my hair out, and my mom had twisted my hair. I was going to lock my hair. And I went to school in New York. And like I said, back then, locks wasn't a thing like it is now. You know,
Right.
people had braids and waves, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh, what's those worms in your hair, Lawrence? Oh, look at Lawrence's hair. And I wore a headband with it, trying to like style it, you know. And my teacher was like, take that headband off. And I was like, no. Because I was getting teased so bad. And I was like, you know, kids in New York is terrible. I was getting teased so bad that I think I called my dad the next day and I got a haircut.
Right.
But
right.
I allowed people's opinions of me to affect something that I desired.
Right. And that's what you don't want to do. You definitely always want to walk against the current. You definitely always want to be your best version of yourself.
Right.
And if you like it, then everybody should like it. So you said we timed out already?
Yeah, we did time out. I do want to kind of talk about a challenge for 2026.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. I like a challenge.
you know,
Challenge me,
just-
please.
And I mean, it's not necessarily a challenge, more like you said, goals.
Okay.
You know, we want to focus on, like my mom said earlier, with the goals she wrote down. I wrote down some goals. I want to focus on how we could continue on speaking truth with love, even when it's uncomfortable. I think a lot of times, like you have to have the uncomfortable conversations. You know, you have to be willing to love with correction. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
Or you
yeah.
can say correct with love. You know,
Right.
either or. You know, we want to be able to be intentional with time,
Oh, wait a minute.
energy.
Just now, I want you to finish that, but when I picked this cup up, this is one of our biggest arguments.
Oh my God.
This cup right here?
Listen, my mother got to always make a cup of coffee before we come on this live. And I'm like, we got all these expensive electronics, MacBooks, and this Rodecaster alone is like $1,000. And she put the coffee cup right by it, you know.
This
And
is
she
our
moving
biggest
stuff.
contention right here.
And I'm like, would you get that coffee cup out of here?
Just when you was reading the goals, I went to pick it up and I looked over
Look,
at you.
see, look right here.
Yeah, I'm
again.
always moving this coffee cup. But go ahead. I never drop it though.
Look, knock on wood, you know, but we want to focus on being intentional with time, energy, and relationships.
Yeah.
And always choosing growth over comfort.
Right.
Because it's important to always make sure we're continuing to grow. I will say this morning, I'm so proud of myself, you know, because one of the things I said I want to do was I bought this Bible book that gives you the entire Bible broken down in 12 months.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's very like detailed, like it's each day, like December 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Oh, wow.
And it gives you like maybe 3 to 4 scriptures. And if you follow day by day, you'll get through the whole Bible in a year.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's
So
great.
I read December 22nd today. So I woke up. My goal was to wake up early in the morning,
You did say that.
and I want to focus on waking up extra early in the morning. I want to focus on praying in the morning. I want to focus on reading those scriptures of the Bible for each day. I want to focus on reading a book of personal self-development, how I could get better. So I'm reading 10 minutes of my book, and I'm writing 10 minutes in my journal each day.
Wow, that's great. That's a great goal.
And then working out.
Ooh, that's
So
even
today
better.
I woke up at 5 o'clock. I hit the snooze. Woke up at 5:30. Prayed, read my scriptures, read 10 minutes of my book. I wrote in my journal for 10 minutes, and then I went and worked out on the treadmill.
Oh, wow. You did it.
Yeah, and I was done, and then took a shower, and then got to work. And I was tired this morning, but then after I did all of that, I really felt accomplished.
Yeah.
Like my dopamine kicked in,
Right.
and I was like, man, people are just now waking up at 8 o'clock, and I done did all this stuff.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Beforehand.
That's a
And,
nugget. That's some nuggets.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like
That's
it's like I
great.
got more time in the day. And look, it's
Feeling better.
and it's 8 o'clock at night, and shoot, and I'm still going. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Still
wow.
going. But that gave me some excitement. I felt so energized.
You accomplished your goal. That's
I
great.
accomplished my goal today. So
That's great.
I felt really good with
Being
that.
able just to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just say a little closing statement. And first of all, I'm going to just say again, thank you for rocking with us for 2025. We hope that you like, share. We want to take this worldwide. That's our goal. That is our goal, to make a difference in everybody's life. Like my son said a long time ago, love and laughing is universal. So we want to be able to impact everyone's life. So
Everybody.
Everybody. Everybody?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
I love that. So walking against the current doesn't mean that we're better than anybody. It means that we're brave enough to choose growth, even when it costs us comfort.
Mm-hmm.
That's our goal. We want to be able to impact the world. And if you're rocking with us, come along for the ride.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And my closing statement I wrote down, it might sound a little cheesy.
No, but it's good because we're ending 2020. Oh, could you believe Christmas? We didn't even talk about Christmas, but go ahead.
I know. Should I read mine?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it.
Here, I moved the coffee cup.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Mike? Amen, brother. So walking against the current isn't easy, as we talked about this entire year. Is daunting, is dreadful, but it's challenging, right? And it's also rewarding. But neither is staying stuck.
Ooh,
Like that's not easy either.
no.
So with this podcast, we want to always make sure that we're choosing growth, we choose truth, and we're grateful that you chose us
Yes. Oh, I like that.
to walk with us. You
Walk
know,
with
because
us.
this hasn't been easy. It's been a journey. And I'm so excited for what 2026 has in store for us.
Yes.
Yes. You know, we got some decisions to make.
Yep.
You know, about life decisions, business decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many things in store. You know, I thought my book would be out by now, but I found a couple of tweaks, so I had to send it back for some correction.
Right.
But because we want perfection,
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Because I do believe this book will be a game changer.
Absolutely. Especially with the climate in which the world is
Oh
today.
my God, with these children, it's going to be a game changer, man. That book is going to be worldwide, and they could put the book in Spanish, different languages.
That's right.
So I'm so excited about this book, man. It's going to change the game because there's no book out there like this. So I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful. We're so grateful that you guys tapped in with us each and every week. Watched our show. It's going to get better, right? We about to invest in some better equipment.
Yes.
We're going to have some guests on here in 2026.
Oh, yes, we're going to have some guests.
You know, we already had a few celebrity, what do you call it? Social media famous people that got like 1 million followers or 2 million followers. People that have seen our podcast and reached out. I reached out to some of them, and they have agreed to come on and talk. So be on the lookout, man. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm telling you right now. And
So,
we're going to be changing the mindset of people all over the world.
that's one thing we talked about. I was like, listen, we're not having nobody come here if we don't got the right equipment.
Oh, you see, he likes perfection. I'm like, we can just turn the camera around. He's like, no. I'm like, all right.
I'm like, we got to get and we got great equipment now, right?
Right.
We got to get some, better cameras, some more mics. We got to get, what's it called? Not a MacBook. What's it called?
That computer that we got.
Yeah, the Mac, the actual desk Mac. We want to get the official tissue. You know what I'm saying? So, but now listen, man, y'all have a great holiday.
Christmas, yes.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
New
very
Year's.
merry, very merry New Year. I feel like man doing that.
Yeah, yes. You did look like you.
We're not going to come on here next week because we're going to give you guys time to spend with family. So we know it's one more Monday left in the year before 2026, but we're going to end the year with this final show tonight.
Yes.
And we hope you guys really enjoyed it, man.
I know. Thank y'all
Thank
again.
you, Auntie Mommy. She said, you go, nephew. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
good.
Appreciate it. I'm surprised Grandma ain't comment tonight.
Oh, she didn't. I'm surprised. Mom didn't. Okay.
But listen, man, we love y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us this long. And don't go because we got much in store for 2026.
That's right. Peace.
Peace, love, and soul.